What's up? What's up?
What's
Welcome
up,
back
y'all?
to another episode of AWAGBT podcast, the place where you get to be an exclusive member to our very entertaining group chat.
What he said.
Y'all already know why we're here. We're here for Love Island, and it has been a roller coaster since the last week we talked to y'all. If we
So
thought
has
last
been.
week was crazy, there's been a lot of craziness going on
This week has been
and
a mess.
messiness and delusion going on this week. Cause I don't even know where to begin, but I guess we gotta pick up where we left them off last week.
Where we left off.
Huh?
Where we left off.
So what do we have last week?
Mm,
Nicolandria getting together. Then we had Casa more people. They did their whole little what's that activity? Not activity, they call them challenges, right? Challenges.
mhm, mhm.
Um we talked about the no, we didn't talk about the
Oh,
challenge.
the date.
The date
That's
one,
the
yeah.
episode. I have to think like what episode we on. Okay. Cool. That's where we at. So where we last left off. What Eric said. Hey Lane.
Hey lad.
Um, Amaya and Zach end up having a conversation at the start of the episode, right? And she's saying how Alondria leaving really messed her up, and it sucks because she had a really strong connection with Taylor. Subtle foreshadowing
Mm,
is what
that
that
part.
was, right? And so where we last left off, that's when Alondra had picked Nick up from Casa Moore.
Yeah.
And she was like, come on. She pulled up on him.
Get in the car,
Okay.
get in the car, get in the car, right now. Hurry up, get in there, run in there, get in there.
Yeah. So when they pull up to wherever the thing was, first they gave them the option. Either y'all can couple together or and go on a date and see how things pop off, or you can go home. Of course they're not going home. Let's see
I
what
ain't
they
going
do.
home either.
Me neither. I don't care about like it just didn't work out. Next, you know what I'm saying? Give me my little
Mhm.
check. So, anyways, they pull up on the date and it was super cute.
It
And
was.
the entire world, I feel like stars and rainbows. Nick and Olandria together they are so cute.
It's like this electric intensity that's in the room that needs to be cut with a knife because like you can
Oh my
feel it
god.
there.
And let me tell you, so Nick was basically saying like, inside the challenges, like, we kiss and there's so much, it like it's good. And she's like, yeah, we
Mhm.
do be doing that little thing. He said, so I'm trying to see what's happening outside the challenges. I said, oh,
Oh,
that's true.
agreed,
So
Mary.
they go on a little date and they talk about it or whatever, and then it gets to the point to where they get to smooching. And when I tell you the chemistry,
There was chemistry there. They both
he
keep
grabbed that, he
saying,
grabbed that thigh. I said, oh, he not new to
"Oh,
this.
thigh meat, thigh meat."
At first I said, hold on, Nick, that might be too much woman for you. But you know what Nick said? He said, hey, yo, Tracy, I got this. And I said, oh, boy, he grabbed that thigh. And then, oh my gosh, I don't know. I do know. I do
But
know what happened.
before we even got there, though, we have
Go ahead.
to mention how they snuck back into the villa right at nighttime. Everybody was asleep. And
Mm-hmm.
so they didn't even know they were back. And then they wake up in the morning and they like, Nick, like, what's up, y'all? They like, what? Because they was balling. Look, the boys was distraught. They was bawling their eyes out that Nick was gone. They were in shambles that he was out of there. And then when they see him, they rush over, Ace rush over there and give him a hug. Taylor jumps out of the bed with Clark, skips over Alandria to go hug Nick. And then in that moment, we was like, did he just move, from White Chicks, move,
It
beat.
was so awkward.
That's how he
He
did her.
hugged Nick like that was his couple.
And then Nick spun him around like,
He had to tap him to be like, "Hey, fam, get off me."
let me go, release me.
He
So
went to old Landry like, "Oh, hey."
how no, what did he call her? That little nickname that he called her? I forgot what. Oh, hey, Tay. No, not Tay. That's her name for him. What he call her? He called her something, but it was just
normally he on the screen. Don't pay attention when he be saying stuff.
Irrelevant.
I didn't even know he had a nickname.
For her, yeah, it was weird. It was weak. She had to say, that's what it was. She said, "Hey, Tay." She had to say something to him. That's what it was. I was like, I knew somebody called somebody a nickname, and I was just like, further confirmation says, this man don't want you.
We're gonna get to that, Lord Jesus. So, anyways, after all that happened, Nick debriefs what happened at this was at Casa Amor, right? Yeah, because they back in the villa.
She gave him the Casa Amor tea.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And so at dinner, Olandria and Nick, they switched back what's going on, at their spots, right? So Nick get back in the villa and he telling Ace like, Shella got this man over here. He's 6'7". I said, oh. The little Ace said, I bet he was like her and he shrunk right on down. And I said the fact that nigga dropped that little height, like his height is irrelevant. It's relevant.
He had no reason to do that.
But he did that on purpose. Nick is a little messy. He is a little messy.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you who else is messy. I'm gonna talk about it when we get further on for the episode. Elan, his twin, Messy.
Oh, yeah,
messy
boots. He messy too.
Messy boots.
Olandria did let Nick know about Elan.
Elan.
Oh, Elan. I hope it's Elan. Elan.
It's like Elan.
Nick Jr. is basically who he is because it looked like his cousin.
Elan literally said that Nick looked like when they eventually met. He's like, that could be my little brother. He looked just like my brother.
Oh, he must be older. Okay, so Nick the little brother. Okay, go ahead. So anyways, Olandria tells him that they had their little thing and they was cute or whatever. And Olandria did throw it in there. She was like, yeah, he looked like you. So anyways, and then vice versa. So when Olandria gets back, she does tell Sierra about the kiss. So it wasn't no like hidey, whatever. And I felt a little way about this because her reaction was kind of like, oh, I'm glad it was you. Baby, out of everybody in the villa, Olandria is the last person I want kissing my man. And that's only because she could probably take him.
No, what's that, Andrina? I'm taking your man.
I said, you was cool with that? It was whatever.
But before we got there, we gotta
up and send all the men home. Jizzy ain't shit. Bring back the millennials. Yeah, tell them because Love Island next year needs to be 30 plus. Nobody under 30. Let's start there. How about that? 28, maybe? No, 30. Right.
I mean, I'm 28, so I feel like 30. 28 is a decent for the women.
Yeah, you have to be turning 29 on the show.
These terrible stipulations. But, before we even got there today, spilling a tea, we didn't do the uncoupling and recoupling from Casa Amor. We got to do that first before we even get to that.
We talked about the coupling last episode, didn't we?
The recoupling, when Taylor chose the people, when they started choosing the people who they actually wanted from Casa Amor. They just did that a few days ago.
Oh, I don't know. I thought we had already talked about it, but go ahead. Who the couple?
No, that was the individual houses. But remember when they all came back together and our sisters had all the yellow on, and we didn't get to talk about that.
Oh, we ain't got. Oh, I guess we can jump to that part. Go ahead.
That was a major thing because I'm like a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, because from that episode, that's pretty much the tea is the debrief from the villas and the casas. But go ahead.
So the end of Casa Amor is what we need to talk about, which was Monday, I believe. Yeah, Monday was the end of Casa Amor.
Yeah, you're right.
And they bring everybody out like this, the Hunger Games. They had them all at the platform, and Ariana lets them know that they're gonna write down the person whose name they want to couple with.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, and now I'm caught up. I remember that little board.
It's so much recoupling, uncoupling. Yes. It gets confusing. And then when we only doing it on Wednesdays, it's like, wait, which episode did we do already? Sometimes, but. So they write down the names of who you want to couple with. If they write your name down, then you'll couple.
You got a match.
But if they don't, we got a bench for you. And we want you to go ahead and sit down over that bench. And that means you're vulnerable. And so she goes through the ones, Pepe matches with Grayson. Boom, that's boring. Austin matches with Jaden. Boom, that's boring. Then we get Andrina and Brian, they match. Boom, that's boring. Then we get let's see who was next. TJ, he left Vanna. That's Botox.
That man didn't want Vanna from jump. I'm sorry. He didn't. He used
He just wanted to be saved.
He did. But let me speak on Vanna's behalf, because I seen her outside the house. Fam, why wasn't you doing what you was doing? I need to find a picture, because she had her hair straightened out. She looked so much better outside the house. And she was like, I had allergies and da-da-da. No, girl, don't do your hair like that no more. Don't do your makeup like that no more. Like, why? Like, she was on the way to the airport looking cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was on Love Island because they did her dirty. Well,
she came out on Love Island.
She did herself dirty, but she was looking a mess on Love Island. But outside, Mary, she bad. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture.
Mary said, "Leave that old lady alone."
No, she really didn't look that bad. I said, "Oh, girl."
No, Tree showed some other pictures of what she like before the Botox. I was like, she was actually cute. We talked about this last week. She was actually pretty.
Yeah, she just need to cool it on them damn lip fillers.
For sure. And so he decided to choose Iris because they felt like they had something going on, which means Vanna and Iris's current Casa More dude, Zach with a C, sitting on the bench. They had to go because Iris chose TJ as well. Then we had Shelly and Ace and Coco, that trio. Ace chose to be with. Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm talking about night and day. She look her age. She don't look 47 here.
Right. That almost look like a completely different person.
It's a completely different person. Yeah,
literally, Mary. And we're going to get to it, Mary, but I literally was telling my cousin the same thing. Half these people need to go. 10 of them, really.
At this point, let's just everybody go home and we just started, for 2 weeks. Let's just see what can happen in 2 weeks with a whole new set. At this point.
And so it was, I felt like he was going to choose Shelly. I always felt like X would write down Shelly just based on how they were going. But Coco made a good impression on him. And Coco is beautiful. Like,
shout out to Coco. That girl is fine.
After Alandria, for me, is Coco.
Yes, same.
And so he chose Shelly. Shelly chose him. So that meant Coco was vulnerable, bless her heart. But that also meant Chris was like, "Ooh, is Chris gonna be vulnerable?" He was like, "No, I chose Huda." It's like, Huda, who you chose? She chose Chris as well. What'd you say?
Huda wanting to stay in the game. That's why she chose
Chris. Hey,
I ain't mad at it.
Huda,
well,
they had
I ain't mad at it, but whatever.
But I'm gonna say this: while they was in Casa More, Huda did explore pretty much everybody. Like, she was not playing game.
She did try.
She tried. She had JD. This is where JD opened up his mouth being stupid. He was like, "Oh yeah, you was trying to be dominant, huh? You just want to be in control. You supposed to be submissive and all the stuff like that to Huda." And she just got up and walked away. She was like, "I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna walk away."
She was like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, the ick.
Yeah,
and I was with her on that one. I was just like, okay.
We was like, you definitely got a new Huda, because old Huda would have told into you for saying that stuff, but the growth from what we've seen. And so that's why she did not couple with him at all. And so he was left vulnerable in the middle of this challenge. And then you have Amaya and Zach. They chose each other. And then
they're not full of teeth. Shut up, Mary.
Oh my God. No, because why somebody said they feel like they was going cross-eyed listening to him talk. And I can see that, because between the actor and it does get confusing. And I also realized that the subtitles, I watch with subtitles because I'm old. The subtitles can't even catch what he be saying half the time.
Zach too. Because Zach, what the hell do you be saying?
Oh man. And then it all boils down. Obviously, Nick chose Sierra. Sierra chose him, which means Elan was vulnerable, which we knew that was gonna happen because they did not tell. First of all, production, y'all are so wrong for making Sierra believe that not only the girl still thought Andrew was gone, they all made her believe that Nick was gone. So she's bawling her eyes out. They're like, she's giving him a eulogizing. He was this, and that. It was beautiful. And then y'all bring him in. Why would y'all? Y'all are cruel for that. It's almost as bad. Did you see that clip with, you know how Tyra Banks used to do the girls on Top Model, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one season, they had a whole group, and it was like, if you got these cards, that means you need to pack your bags. So the girls who got these certain cards, and they had to take their luggage, they thought they was the ones gone, and the ones who got the other thing, they thought they was the ones who made it on, right? And so the girls with the luggage, they go and walking through this building, they crying because they just knew they were going home because they had to pack their luggage. And Tyra was like, welcome to your new home, and turns around the thing, and it's a house. And so they start rejoicing. And then the other girls thinking they go into the house, and they go to the airport. And so I'm like, that was cruel. But they reunion, she runs up, hugs him, and in that moment, Elan knows, like, it's over for me.
Like, looking like, get that weak shit out of here.
Because he knew he was going home.
Did.
And so they chose each other. And then the one that it boils down to that everybody's waiting on, is Taylor gonna pick Clark? Is he gonna pick Alandria? What is going to happen? And ultimately, he chose Clark. And Amaya,
surprising no one.
No, it's surprising no one.
Except for Alandria.
It surprised the Villa. Because Amaya was like, what? Taylor, what?
Boy, what? Listen, I love Amaya down. That girl, she be 10 toes.
She 10 toes.
She do. She be a lot. She do.
Yeah.
Okay. But she be 10 toes.
She's genuine, and I love it. It's so authentic. And that's what I think I love about it. But everybody else they was all like, what? You gotta be kidding me. Are you serious?
Taylor. Taylor.
What?
Taylor. I love her little accent. It's so cool.
I love it. And so
would you look to the side like that?
Girl, I thought I heard somebody shoot. I'm like, shooting. We don't do that here. Not in this neighborhood. We go to work over here. And I was like, did I hear something? But yeah, I was like, hold on. Not a drive-by on live. But I was just like, I cannot believe it. I could. But I was like, Alandria just got back. Adriana said that. She's like, what? We just got her back. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, she was pressed.
So Alandria was once again vulnerable. So she had to join Coco, Zach with a C, Elan, Vanna, and I think those were the ones. And it was up to the Islanders to choose one boy and one girl. Mm-hmm. So Casa Amor had to choose the guy, and the Villa had to choose the girl. And the girls decided to keep Elan, and it was a fight. It seemed like, well, we come to find out it really wasn't big of a fight. But Taylor, he was trying to get Alandria to go home because he
said, what if she want to explore me? Tell her you don't want to explore with her. Open up your mouth. Are you a grown-up?
That's going to feed into our conversation for yesterday episode for sure.
You just picked Clark. Tell her you literally, Taylor said, you still want to explore Alandria. You still want to explore Clark. And you said this after you picked Clark. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to do that anymore, you tell her.
Right.
But we're going to get to that. I'm still mad.
No, yes. And so thankfully, Nick was like, what if you change your mind in 3 days? And you want Alandria again. And Ace was trying to advocate for Coco to be in there, which was annoying.
He's trying to have his cake and honey buns next to each other.
Kind of like Shirley, but we'll talk about that too.
Yep, exactly.
Ultimately, they chose to keep Alandria. Mm-hmm. Our girl is safe once again. Veto Queen Alandria. Y'all ain't getting her out of here that easy.
She do be securing that veto every week. She do.
She is not getting them out of here, mm-hmm. And I love it.
That social game is on 10.
It's on 10. I said, I know Vanna and what's the other girl name? Coco was looking at each other like, what the heck we gonna do now? You know that Miss Juicy meme? Because when they came down to a vote, we know the Islanders was keeping Alandria. Like they knew they had no hope. They had to know they didn't have no hope.
Yep.
And so that's where we kind of fast forward. We get to the last couple of days where, you know, everybody's adjusting with everybody being in the villa, all these 20 folks, everybody getting to see how folks is with their connections and all of that stuff, right? And we get to the part where there's starting to be a little tension with Shelly and Ace because Chris is in the villa, right? And Shelly tells Ace that she still wants to explore Chris. And Ace was like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna, that's your choice. I'm not the controlling type to be like, oh no, you can't explore him, even though it's right in front of my face. He's like, I like the challenge, it's cool, it's whatever. And so she does explore Chris a little bit. He bringing her pancakes, brought her two,
which is not a problem.
It's not a problem yet. And so Huda was feeling some type of way because he brought Shelly 2 pancakes and only brought her 1. I said one thing. Somebody said, wait. They tweeted.
A pancake hate to see her coming is what I said episodes ago, and I will continue. A pancake hate to see her coming.
But wait, why did somebody say they was like the show villain that y'all making them out to be is Ace, right? They said, but the actual villain is a picture of the pancakes.
Baby, and your mama hate to see her coming. Hungry Jack, Waffle House, all that. Hate to see her coming.
One thing about it, the pancakes are gonna cause some confusion. Where can you watch? On Peacock, Justine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Justine.
Come on,
I like that name.
We're glad to have you, Justine. I don't think we've seen you before. Welcome to the exclusive group chat. We hope you subscribe and stay along with us. But yeah, so another thing with the pancakes, Sierra tells Nick that when they was in Casa, cut a C into her pancakes and bring it. So he decided that's what he was gonna do too. He made that little jagged C.
And I think it was Eric, you want to brought up that way back when they was doing their couplings or whoever to pick, Nick had put Sierra on there, but he put it with an S. And so I think that was her subtle way of being like, hey fam, spell my name right. Right. Because Nick, see?
Because
I get it, because my baby name is Sierra, and I always, whenever I say her name, I be like Sierra with an S.
But okay. Trees, he don't have no excuse because the last 3 weeks, her name is on the bed. It's on her water bottle. All their names are on the bed.
Nick probably can't read cursive.
You can tell the difference between a C and an S.
That said, like, this new, like, Gen Z can't read cursive because they took cursive out of curriculum. And I literally, like, on they like water bottles, I literally remember watching the episode. I'd be like, I bet you half them can't read that.
And it's a shame because they can't even write in it. They can't read it. It's terrible. But if he don't know the difference between a C,
is absolutely terrible. So
and an S,
I believe it.
That's a him problem. That's just you too old to not know how to.
Oh, one thing we did skip. Olandria and Nick had their little conversation.
Yes.
And when I tell you a dagger to my heart, so they had the chat, right? And Nick and them were saying, they were just saying, like, it just like of course the kiss was good, it felt good, but it wasn't a spark, there wasn't like a connection. And he said, I did want to discover like if it was like romantic between us, but I wasn't feeling that. And I was like, yeah, me too, I was hoping you felt the same way. No, Nick is lying. Nick is a liar. Nicholas, you are a liar. And I think the only reason he said that because Olandria kept bringing up Taylor. I'm not gonna be pursuing you. You keep bringing up another dude.
Yeah.
Your dude already picked somebody else. Because that was 2 different people. Because Nick was on it. Nick was the pursuer. Nick had his Timbs on. He had his gold chain on. Nick was not to be played with.
Also, we have to mention too when Nick was like, we don't want to talk about how we feel, and he was like, I want to shoot, like, you go first. Because she wanted to hear what he was gonna say first, and that was gonna
was feeling him too.
She was.
I think Olandria has it's a cute crush. Like, oh yeah, Nick is cute. We kiss good. You know what I'm saying? He made me feel nice, but she was all wrapped up in Taylor.
Because another thing that we have to mention, I forgot, was, and this pissed me off about Taylor too. Olandria was at the table at that little bench, not a bench, but like that little, where they be sitting at to eat. And she was cold. So Nick took off his shirt, gave her his shirt. Taylor come over. He seen it. Of course, he see Nick being affectionate. So he come over and try to hug her. Hey, they do like a little handshake. And she's like, I don't have no handshake. He was like, oh, everybody got a handshake. Maybe you just not liked.
It's always a little truth in every joke.
There you go. And so, but Nick, he would do those small little things that I feel like mattered, and he would tell Alandria how beautiful she looked, how good she looked, how he made her feel, and all of those things that Taylor never did. While my sister was so wrapped up on that stick bug, I couldn't tell you.
And speaking of little raggedy Taylor, Clark and Alandria do end up having a conversation, which is irrelevant to me. Alandria does tell Clark like it was like shocking to her to see like Taylor be more affectionate with her because they're not that way. But Alandria is saying this is a lot of people keep saying like you're not missing the cues. He's not affectionate with you. But like I'm with Alandria because I'm the same way. I'm not a touchy-feely person. I don't do a lot of PDA in public like that. So if you don't see my man hugging and kissing on me and grabbing my behind, like it's just because we're just not those type of people. Because baby, when the doors are closed, it's another story. Okay. So I get where she was coming from that. But whatever. But I think besides the episode, I think that's it. And then we're going to the heartbeat.
Yeah, well, we did the little heartbeat challenge.
Yeah, let's talk about that heartbeat challenge.
You want to tell them how it was? The
heartbeat challenge was cute. Okay, so first of all, I want to know what the tea was that everybody decided to kiss Sierra instead of Nick. What's that tea about?
Well, like the girls, Shelly for sure is bi. And I think
Shelly's the only one that I was like, okay. She didn't go first, did she?
Who went first? No, Shelly didn't go first.
I could imagine like if she like started it and everybody's like, yeah, whatever.
But Shelly
Kiss got more chemistry with Shelly than Nick, in my opinion.
Sierra Nick's kiss.
Yes.
That's a whole nother.
But that was weird because even Nick was looking like, damn, is anybody gonna kiss me? I was like, oh, that was funny.
Oh, before the heartbeat challenge too, they closed things off, by the way. Forgot to mention that. Nick and Sierra.
Oh yeah, I had wrote that down. They went on their little date or whatever next.
They officially closed things off, but I need to mention. Oh, go ahead before you forget.
I wish when they were on their date, so they had did like a little date, right? And they're on a picnic. I wish this was the drink sitting at the table. Can you imagine how messy that was if they would have those drinks? Oh, I don't know for sure if this is real or not, but I'm seeing it everywhere. But if it's not, this is gonna absolutely crush Sierra, and I hope like a camera is there to witness it. That sounds mean, but I just want to see what her reaction is.
We're gonna look. Movie night definitely gonna be something.
Oh, can you imagine? They bring popcorn and Cokes out for movie night. Oh. Hey, Love Island, you heard it here first. Get a 6-pack before they stop production.
So they closed things off. So one thing I wanted to mention. So when he closed things off with her, before then he was talking about how that picnic date that was like his dream date. And all the stuff like that. And she was like, are you trying to say I'm your dream girl? He was like, And so he just like and I don't know if it's just editing, but it's like
messy.
He be doing these small little things. I'm like, Sierra babes, you not his type.
And like he don't like Sierra. He just don't like Sierra as much as he like Alandria. Literally. If Angela would throw him the ball, he would catch it.
And speaking of that, so that goes back to the conversation you were talking about with how Alandria and Nick both confessed about the kiss that they shared and how you were feeling about that. So I honestly, she initially talked, right? And she was, like you mentioned, she was like, oh, I'm glad it was you, not anybody else, because I trust you, my best friend in the house. It was good it was you. But how about she gets sitting down with Iris and she tells Iris, and I was like, that ain't weird to you? And then she was like,
baby, I was with Iris. I was with her. I say, oh, Iris done woke up and is on the show. Hey, girl.
Please.
She was right, though.
Low key, I mean, yes and no. Because she was like, would you be okay if your best friend kissed your person in like real life or like whatever? And she was like, now that I'm thinking about it, it does kind of make me uncomfortable to think about. They were like, 'cause why did you have to explore it that way or whatnot? But it's also kind of like that is the show. Even though you have a strong connection, we can see that you can have a strong connection and still get dumped.
Right.
So why not explore?
Right.
You know, I get it is weird. I do get it. Your man, your best friend.
So I think Iris is correct in the term of like, girl, you were not pressed about this? Because I would be, right? I think she was correct in that sense. But the fact that y'all don't know these people, y'all are not friends.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Y'all met each other 13 days ago. Some of y'all met each other a week ago. Literally. 4 days ago. Y'all, I'm sorry. Y'all do not know the definition of friends. And when people use it on reality TV, I thought we were friends. We not. Mm-hmm. If I don't go on the show knowing you, we not friends. Because if y'all ever see me on the show and saying that's my best friend, baby, I am lying.
Mm-hmm.
Lying.
Because like you're not like you're my best friend. They need to start saying you're my best friend on this show for this current time.
I'm gonna let that rock. But baby, if there is opportunity, I'm trying to find love. And if the love is in your man,
yeah,
I'm gonna find them.
And that's what I'm like, where is this crazy loyalty? Which I get it, you built these relationships, so it does, like, you know, when you get stuck in the house, like we know with Big Brother and stuff, the bonds do tend to feel stronger and longer because of the time that you're stuck with each other. Mm-hmm. But it's like you mentioned though, I'm here to find love. So if my love is your man, what's that quote that say, don't let somebody's boyfriend or girlfriend keep you from finding your wife or your husband?
Yep, exactly that.
So I mean, if they were to somehow explore and they would have found that spark, I would have been all here for it.
Yep.
Hate it for Sierra, but it is what it is. But also, another thing that happened in this particular episode before we go back to the Heartbeat Challenge, and I thought was crazy but funny too, where I said Elaine was being messy. So Amaya's having a conversation with Chris. And she's telling Chris, like, I just feel like Zach hasn't been talking to me, ain't pulling me for no chats. I don't know what it is. I feel like he's just been more interested in hanging out with the boys. And it's just irritated me. Why Elaine was spying behind him, he run down the stairs and he go tell Zach. So I just heard Amaya telling Chris that she feel like you're not here for the right reason. You just want to hang out with the boys. You ain't really put no effort into her.
Right.
And I said, what he being messy for? He did not have to go tell him. He did not have to go tell him that. One more thing before we go back to the Heartbeat Challenge. You had Andrina and Brian. Apparently, you know how we was talking about how they felt solid last week. So apparently he's saying their conversation got boring and that they not really feeling.
I was with it too because next.
And Andrina was like, I honestly want to explore Pepito. And she goes, so she really, you know, she throw her little cards out there. She put her cards on the table like, Pepito, I'm trying to explore you. He said, what?
He said, he said, do not pass go, do not click $200.
Pepe said, no, you know.
Mary, say that again. She don't. Because baby, I'm straight as can be, and she could look my way, and I would probably.
The thing is, she do got a personality. I just get because she's funny. I've seen she was being a little messy too. The night after the Heartbeat Challenge, because she went from one group to the other group and was friends.
She was a little messy right there. I said, "Oh."
She do got personality. I just think that we don't see.
We just ain't getting no time from her.
Right. And so he basically told her he wanted to keep exploring Grayson. He got this connection. But then fast forward, we'll come back to the Heartbeat. Fast forward to yesterday's episode, he basically talking about he ain't got no feelings for her. Yep. So it's like, how you put Andrina in the friend zone because you with Grayson, but you don't even like Grayson.
Right.
Pepito, explanation, please. But we all know because it's like he want Hannah back. So Heartbeat Challenge. They all doing they thug dizzle. Dancing and flipping and twisting and licking and sucking and all type of everything that you can think of. It gets a hooda.
It's really only two important parts before hooda. The only important part of this Heartbeat Challenge is that Nick was licking Olandria's toes. And baby,
they was down.
Everybody said, I would have. Now I'm messy. I will be messy. I will be like, hey, so we sitting there eat breakfast. Let's run that back. So, do Nick be licking your toes or no? Because Nick a freak. That was nasty.
Her nail polish was in his stomach. Like,
ooh, Nick was nasty. But go ahead. He love that girl. He love that girl down. He do. I don't care what nobody say. And she better be invited to Thanksgiving. I was in his mama comments and I said, please invite Alandria to Thanksgiving dinner and please, we need
despite whatever happens on the rest of the show.
I don't care. Sierra can do Christmas. I don't care. Thanksgiving is Alandria's.
No, Sierra can do Christmas.
Yeah, she's gonna be with her family. She can stay home.
What if her and Nick are together so she can't come?
No. Like Olandra said, she's a slow burner. We're gonna slow burn this. And by Valentine's Day, they're gonna be together.
You are a whole fool. Y'all, what is wrong with Tracy?
Slow burn. A slow burn right into, man. Yeah, a slow burn right into Valentine's Day. They'll be together by spring break. But anyways, heartbeat challenge. And the only other crazy thing that happened is Huda was doing her midnight ballerina dances, and baby, she was doing them well. Okay, shout out to that girl. She
did something else. She flipped over back and she was moving her leg.
She flipped. Listen, I was literally, somebody was on TikTok today talking about, y'all been practicing and moving and look ragged. Let me show you how to do it, baby. I was on my son's floor trying to do it, and I realized I need to stretch. But she was doing that. But they definitely edited out or they cut it, and we did not get to see the full performance.
She put that thing on his face.
Let me see. Huda had brought Ace to the little heart in the front, and then Shelly had brought was it Chris? And about Chris. Shelly and Chris did that thing. They was done walking back to the chair. Huda, I thought she was about to get up. No, that girl turned and flipped around, reverse cowgirl, and she was boop 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 boop.
We know she put it on the face,
and we have to just guess to our imagination what happened. But I do think that Ace has a bit of DNA on his nose. I'm gonna just say that. You let your mind wander from that.
And although,
go ahead.
Like Tree said, we didn't see nothing, but a lot of the reactions from the island, they was like, "Ooh, that was too far. That was ooh."
And you know what? Tell me how it was very would have like vulgar is because the men said something. Because the men were like, man, ain't that big. It is just a challenge. No, the men's was like, and Pepe was like, that looked like more than just a challenge.
Yeah. Listen, I like Pepe. I you know,
Ace Pepe for sure. Pepe messy. He is.
That was more than a challenge.
But I don't want to forget to say it. But Pepe definitely wrote his own cards. But we're gonna get to that. He wrote them himself for sure.
Yeah. And so Shelly was pissed off. I looked up, she was like, oh no, Huda did too much, absolutely too much. She's supposed to be my girl, and that's what you do. You are not a friend of mine. And she looked back, wait, it was Ace laughing and her looking back and catching him laughing, and he tried to cover up his laugh.
He tried to fix it up.
Oh man. So we leave off that episode with the fallout between Huda and Shelly. She wanted to talk to her. She's like, nah, I don't want to talk to you. I'm going to cool off. I'll talk to you in the morning if I get some time. You know, if I feel like talking to you in the morning.
Huda cried, bawled.
She goes, tells Amaya and Andrina, talks to them about it. And then they go, you know, then she goes downstairs. And then that's when Andrina go, be messy, take down what they talk about, told Sierra, Olandria, and Shelly what Huda had said. And they were, you know, just having their own thoughts and theories about how it all worked out. Mm-hmm. And it left us with Huda being a little sad and mad and upset and everything else. So, yeah.
The usual tears.
Tune in to yesterday's episode.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we still on the same. They still in the same clothes. No resolution has been found between the two. They go to sleep, you know, wake up. It's clearly something on, like they not talking to each other. We can definitely see it in the air. They kind of walking past each other, but other people are kind of going on about their day. Nick and Sierra make breakfast and they have a whole little thing with Iris and TJ. Oh, Iris and TJ got it in, huh? Iris packed up her bag, her little sleeping bag, her covers.
Because I know she said, let's go camping. They
that's what that meant, camping. They went to Soul Ties.
Ooh, okay. All Chris said, I'm not Sierra. I ain't trying to get no little poop poop. We about to do the whole
and y'all ain't fit to hear nothing.
Look, who and who? Exactly.
Very. Funny, no, but because listen, we gonna mess around and let TJ Iris be in that finale. That's gonna be the problem.
No, please don't.
And that's the way it's looking like. It's looking like because they the only two solid.
To be
couples.
honest, it ain't really. To be honest, I wish they at this point they would just say pick your favorite guy and your favorite girl at this point because the couple's not coupling.
No,
because I would be picking Nick and Olandry. I would, but I already did that.
And so it's just so much going on, really, truly. But I'm just like, okay, so they got their little thing, and so Nick, Sierra, Iris, and TJ are the only two solid couples, and they talk about everybody else and the drama that everybody else got going on. Mm-hmm. And we see that Ace and Shelly cannot find common ground with some of the stuff, and it'll come up in the question, so we ain't really got to go in detail about it, but they having some issues about being closed off. Mm-hmm. Exploring, and then stuff that's going on in the challenges, like she's pissed at him about that, and he's trying to explain to her, which this kind of happened in the episode before, but like how he's feeling, and she was kind of dismissing, she wasn't kind of, she really was dismissing him, in my opinion.
Wrong. She was. That's my girl, but you was wrong.
She was wrong. And this whole situation with Huda has just kind of overflowed it all. But I will say, Huda and Chris, though, he was like, Shelly ain't really putting in the effort, and this comes up again in the questions. And so he's really kind of dialing in on Huda. They had a little kissy kiss, and kind of, it was a little, I wasn't mad either. And
everybody open so they can do whatever they want to.
Yep. You have Olandry and Zach having conversations, trying to see, exploring. She said she gonna explore, see what she got to do, see what's going on there.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Leave that alone.
Especially after the way he acted in this question, I'm like, I don't want her with him. Now, if you get her to the end, so be it. Get her a little check, so be it.
Just gonna pick her, so yeah.
But other than that, no, that ain't her man.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pepe, this was another focal point before we get to the cards. Pepe was talking to the dudes about how he just not really feeling it with Grayson, and he want to be a gentleman about it, and he want to tell her the truth. He don't want to lead nobody on. Come on, that's what a man does. He tell her the truth, so just quit it, Right. We're not gonna drag people for 3 weeks knowing we don't like them, making them think that we do.
Just gonna call you back.
And so I was like, okay, that's why I really mess with Pepe. I think he's a stand-up dude for what we can see. But of course, production, soon as he say that, we got a text. Before he can even go talk to her, they got to go write their mail. They tell him about the challenge where you get to stand on business. Mm-hmm. You can do it anonymously, or you can sign your name to the house guests or the Islanders, that you want to say something to.
Right.
And I wrote down everybody who got a card, from who they got it from, and what those cards was about.
I just wrote the ones that are worth mentioning.
I am cracking up. I was like, I just got a list. I just had the whole list. I was like, I need to
go ahead, because that's pretty much the last bit we talking about anyways.
So first up, Raggedy Austin. His was from Andrina about not showing effort, which she clocked him because she was like, I didn't show effort. She was like, but because the bombshells get to see what was going on before they got there, right? She was like, well, I just see when you was with you had Shelly, Ace was doing all these things and you wasn't doing nothing, but you was complaining. So right. I feel like you just here. You made it this far. I don't know how you got here. And I'm with her on that because he should not be. And that's why we need to send him home on tomorrow. Well, he needs to be sent home tomorrow, because if we don't get Austin up out of here.
If it's only one person, Taylor got to go. And then Austin.
No, because Taylor not going to win. Austin don't need to
exactly.
be
Austin, at this point.
Taylor's not going to win. I don't want Austin
either. But I need Taylor to know right after picking Clark and doing all that he did, I need him to come home so I can be in his DMs and get blocked.
I just don't want Austin skating by.
He can skate by because he ain't winning. Ain't nobody voting for him.
I don't trust it. But so then we moved to Sierra, and hers was from Pepe about Hannah. Like, why did y'all vote Hannah off?
Baby, you love him.
You,
Somebody said, you do know
Alandria,
Hannah is alive, right?
and
Like, you
well,
need to leave.
you can go home, Pepe. Like, we're not holding you hostage, we
Nah, for
promise.
real. Pepe, you can go.
And so he just really questioned her about that. And I know a lot of people was kind of like, I know Mary was talking about like Sierra's attitude during some of these questions, that kind of maybe turned people off because how she answered it. But she was pretty much was like, yeah, Hannah had two beautiful, strong connections. She got to choose. I just feel like Iris had something budding with TJ. And then Amaya didn't really get to really experience a good connection. So that's why we kept them too. But then in my mind, I was kind of like, that's kind of backwards a little bit, ain't it?
Nope.
But they made their decision. They said what they said, and nothing he can do about it. Amaya, she had one from Chris about her snoring, which was funny.
Oh, poor baby.
And then there was one from Austin that was talking about her crying, doing too much, and with the babe and all the stuff like that. And he and Ace got into it. He kind of spoke up and was sharing how his perspective on it was.
All the couples spoke up that was paired with Amaya, basically.
Literally.
Celebrate. She get it.
Yeah. And so she really broke down, but I just could not believe. I was just like, why did y'all do that? Y'all didn't have to do it. The way y'all did it and the way y'all was going about it was just not the correct way, in my opinion. But I feel like Ace did it as respectful as possible, but the way it made his facial expressions and stuff look, it made it harsher.
A lot of people hate Ace, but Ace is just very blunt and very straightforward.
Yeah.
I honestly don't. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I've never seen a specific situation where he's been like disrespectful. He might have sounded like a dick, like when he said some stuff, but besides that, like, he's just very blunt when it comes down to it.
Right. And so she basically tells Zach, because Zach was like, oh, this and this and this and that. She was like, but you didn't tell me that. You could have told me that when we had that conversation.
He could have. He played in her face. I think he was just like, this is my opportunity. I ain't know how to break it to her. They ain't want to couple up with her, and now's my chance. Because it sounded like he was just like word vomit. Oh yeah, me too. All right, pick me. Sit down, shut up.
And so she storms off. Ace tried to go out there. I don't know why Ace wanted to go out there, but the girl's like, no, we got it. We'll do it. Ace too smart. He can run circles. Oh, absolutely. And then we get to Pepe. His was about Hannah leaving.
Yeah, he wrote.
And
he wrote his own cards. He did.
And not really having a connection with Grace.
Is anybody gonna say who wrote that? Everybody's like, who wrote that? He did. How he gonna raise his own hand? He reading it.
Right. And so that was how Grayson found out that Pepe no longer has feelings for her. And my thing is, she kept trying to have a conversation with girl. This is not the time nor the place. Wait till after this challenge, and then we can discuss this.
You need to leave.
Literally, he can leave. We're not holding him here. I appreciate him because he's there for Olandria and he voted to keep her, and he be down for Olandria. So I like him for that. And I think he cool, but
if anything, you can stay on there if Valandria needs somebody to couple up with.
Right? Y'all go win that money.
Zach can go home. Bye.
Pepelandria will win.
But I ain't gonna lie, I was cracking up when he sat down next to Grayson. He was like, "It's all right," and she was saying, "Fool," because in the exact same moment when he said, "It's all right," and I was just like, "Too," at the exact same time she did. And he was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's just not gonna work out." Like, damn, this is how you choose to break up
with? Literally, he was like, "It's." I think it's not.
Hey, don't rise too high. We just need you as a placeholder, fam.
No, don't rise too high.
Rise medium.
Ooh, not medium. Then we get Ace. He talked about, his was about closing things. It was from Amaya about closing things off. Why he had to close things off with Shelly. He was like, I can't close nothing off with somebody who wanted to keep exploring. That's not the type of person I am. I can't close it. She don't want to be closed.
Wasn't wrong.
Ain't nothing I can do. And then Austin, his question, or his was like, yeah, you and your little crew always controlling everything, and you got your little minions around, everybody doing what you say. And he like, what you mean by that, bro? He's actually
Jeremiah been gone. Let that man go.
Yeah, Jeremiah.
He been gone. He was here a month ago.
And all of that happened, and somehow Austin started talking about Maya. for some reason or another. And she got really upset, and he started. See, this is why don't mind. You see how you do? I said, "Oh, the Trumpy jumping out, the MAGA jumped out, the microaggression jumped out." And she was like, "You first of all, you'll never talk to me like that. You ain't never told me how you'll never do this to me face to face.
You do not
Because you ain't
disrespect
got
me."
the
I said, "Hella Maya, shoot."
She got on his neck, and I loved it. And she stayed there because don't let nobody tell you who you are. And I love that message because these people will try to sit here and tell you who you are in real life. This is for all those listening. Don't let people tell you who you are. You know who you are.
Know
who you are. Your authentic self is enough.
Yep.
It is enough. And we will not have beans and toast telling me who I need to be, how I'm supposed to act it. You know what I'm saying? And what feelings I'm supposed to convey. And I'm glad she did not let him bring her down. And I'm glad she stayed on his neck the whole time. She said, and look at you. You got the ones, your vein. You want to talk about mad? Yes. You got the veins popping out of your neck.
I thought that was so Ace did ask how you say that girl name?
Ariana?
No. The girl on the show. The thick one.
Oh, Andrina.
He asked Andrina, was Jeremiah like love bombing him, or did he come on too strong? And she said yes. Okay. I just have to point out, I think there was an edit right there. I think she did say yes, obviously, but I think but I was feeling that.
Yeah.
You know, I was feeling him because you can tell it was an abrupt yes, and then it cut to Ace.
Yeah.
So I feel like they kind of played in Jeremiah's face in that moment just for the messiness. But I just
and then when they got brought up how she was, calling people babe, he was like, you usually got to understand that people's boundaries are different. And I love that Brian spoke up. He was like, we come from a Hispanic household. We say, baby, my vida, mi amor, and it's nothing to do with, it
definitely was. And I was like, it's funny because at this point, it's like, if y'all just don't like her, just say that. It's like they all have the same reason. You call me babe too much. You call me this. Like, she's not calling you husband. Like, right. I go to New Orleans and we in the Wendy's checkout and they, hey baby.
Hey baby.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously not in that tone. I ain't about to do my New Orleans accent on y'all. But every time I go to New Orleans, come on, just say y'all don't like her and keep it moving so she can actually find a real connection. Y'all wasted her time.
And so that's why I was like, they were talking about that, but I'm glad Brian stepped in and was clarifying that too, because it's like y'all was taking it. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. A lot of
that whole course, it was so, you can tell it was so many cuts. Like, in which, whatever. Even the facial expressions, we're gonna get to that. Like Taylor, his facial expressions didn't match what he was saying and what Olandria was saying. It was just off. Whatever.
Yep. Then we get to Shelly. Hers was about boundaries with Ace. Ace asked that question about, you still exploring someone, but then you want to talk about boundaries and challenges. Explain that. And she got mad, and I'm sorry, she was wrong. She was wrong because she is telling him that there has to be boundaries during challenges. But like he said, you're exploring someone outside of challenges. What sense? How does that make sense? And he asked, he's like, can somebody explain to me what am I missing? Because I understand you can have boundaries and challenges, but that's like for people who are closed off, trying to be closed off. That's cool. We the only people that we seeing. But you are telling me that you're actively exploring someone else in my face outside of a challenge, but I'm the one who has to have.
But I gotta hold back.
See,
she was 100% wrong in this, because if you don't want Ace to go full out in these challenges or explore anymore, you need to close off y'all's relationship, right? But you didn't do that. And the fact that the person that Ace could have explored with, they sent home, but yours is right here. So you think I'm about to let you play? And the fact she downplayed, and you was all on Chris, right? Which is
why I went back.
But you double back.
It wasn't even that much. Oh, now it ain't that much.
It don't matter if it was that much, baby. You spun the block, fam. You spun the block in front of your current boo. Yeah, she was wilding for that. And I wanted Ace to be like, fam, you spun the block. And I'm supposed to be like, chilling. So just because I had some lips in my face, like we talking?
Yeah, I was with
So
Ace
I think
100%.
it was all fair and game, and it would have just worked if Shelly just said, we should have put boundaries in place because I was uncomfortable with what was going on in the challenge with you and Huda. That was it. It just made me uncomfortable, and I wish we had set boundaries for that.
But
And when I
then,
set boundaries, I would have heard, to that as well. But
but in that, yes, that
I
would have
was too
made perfect sense.
prideful.
They would set the boundaries beforehand. Cool. But it's like, do you really have the right to set that boundary if you're going to still be actively exploring someone
You
else?
should have closed it up. If you want to check what Ace is doing, close it.
Literally.
It's literally like in the first couple weeks, Ace wasn't picking Shelly because I think he always thought like, I'll have Shelly in my back pocket. She's not going
Yeah.
nowhere. And now that Ace is finally like with her, I think she's doing the same thing. Like, Ace not going nowhere. He cool. Let me see what this is with Chris, just in case. But Ace not going nowhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's what that situation is. And then when she had it in front of her face, like there's a possibility that somebody else might, possibly take Ace. She got uncomfortable with it.
But Huda don't want Ace.
Don't.
Which leads into the next question from Huda, which was about the challenge, and that what they do that for. It was like, girl, you're not a girl. I just don't feel like what you did was overstepping. You supposed to be my friend. When it came to Jeremiah, you was all this and that. And I just feel like you just disregarded my feelings, but you appreciate everybody else being gracious with your man. But when it came to mine, you just didn't care.
Right.
And I don't think that she didn't care. Whatever she did, clearly it was out of bounds because she admitted it too. Because her and Nick had a conversation and he told her, that yeah, you did too much, but it's all good, whatever. And so she apologized for it. She said she wanted, forgive her if she could and wanted to forgive her and to just let it be. But Shirley just really wasn't trying to hear it.
Right.
So that's kind of where they left off at.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Huda. Her question, she was up next. Hers was from Nick about her being here over Hannah. One thing about Nick, he gonna be your friend, but he gonna still tell Huda that he did not want her here.
I was just about to say Nick's so real because we skipped over it, but he did check on her and was like, I just don't want you to feel like you're alone, which
Right.
I do feel like obviously he notices that she's not hanging with the same crew she is because they all feel some type of way about how she reacted in the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how she feels some type of way about the challenge or whatever. So I think he's just he has a heart, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But don't get it twisted. You should have still went home.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? I can have some what's the word, remorse for you, but still be like, I'd still rather have somebody else here than you though.
Yeah, he pretty much
need
like,
a
I
husband,
sympathize.
I'm here.
I sympathize, but Hannah should have still been here. And then she got the girl question from Shelly, which led Alandria in it. And this is what I did not like because I'm like, Alandria, that was unnecessary. I feel like I know she was trying to stick up for Shelly and that's her girl. So I understand why she did and said what she did. But for the first time this season, I found myself disagreeing with Alandria and what she said and did because exposing the kiss that she had with Chris and between Chris and Huda, I don't think that was her place to expose that out in front of everybody. If she would have put it in the question form, that would have been different.
Yeah.
But to piggyback off of Shelly's question about Huda not being a girl's girl, and then exposing her, I don't feel like that was necessary. And it came off as very mean girlish. And I did not like that from Alandria because I believe she's better than that. But I understand she was coming from a place of Shelly, this is my girl. Like this is my bestie in here. And so I'm gonna stand with my bestie.
Yep.
Although
it was very messy. It was
messy. Because she was like, you want to kiss and tell, but you want to talk about kiss and telling, but you and Chris you want to tell the class, share with the class?
And you know what? I would have let Olandra have it, but when she said, "Oh, we want to tell the class," that was a little snippy.
Yeah.
She put a little toot on that. You know what I'm saying? Because it would have been, to me, it would have been all right. It was like, well, you talking about you brought Shelly back, but y'all was just kissing. So explain that. That would have worked for me. But she did put some toot on it. And then they did that little camera now. Who knows if that's the edit? But then Olandra looked at Sierra and she said, oh. And I said,
Right.
it was very clicky.
It was.
And it was a little meanish. But
Sure.
I have to say this. Damn near every girl on the island, there's just no way when women are in a sense, there is gonna be some meanish, clicky. It's just that's just how it is, unfortunately. And I just have to just automatically now Huda, we already know it's Hurricane Huda, but I gotta give Huda her ones and her twos.
She kept it together.
Just fast forward and Eric gonna get to it, but Huda had Olandria back because he said, "Now wait a minute,
Did
ain't you the same?" And that's how I'm sorry. That's how women work. Like I might be pissed at you about something, but you ain't about to play in my girl face.
and
You know
I
what I'm saying?
hope
And to me, that's what Huda did. And
yeah.
somebody pointed out something specific to me, and not specific to me, but I saw on TikTok, and I 100% believe it. I don't think anything Huda does is malicious. She's just very self-centered.
Yes.
And I was like, you know what? Now that I look at her a different way, I was just like, yeah. Like, I don't think she's doing the things she does to be mean. Like, is it because I'm pretty? Like, she's just very self-centered. And I think
she said, if I was ugly, would she cared?
Girl, look at her like, what?
No. So back to that point too, because Shelly was like, yeah, you talk. We even went home when you picked Chris, you was talking about I'm doing this for you. You weren't doing this for you were doing this for yourself. Like, yeah, I'm doing it for myself because I want a man. I want to stay in this villa, but I'm also doing, like you said, you want to explore him. So I'm like, I am kind of helping you out, sis. Like, I'm keeping your other option available. But like Huda said, Huda put them on notice. She was like, but I actually built a connect. I explored everybody. So it wasn't, it's just me and Chris had a great connection. And that's just what it is.
And I will say in that moment, Shelly was like, you could have just said something. Huda did. She just didn't take it seriously.
Also,
she did say she was feeling Chris. And she said, I might, like explore him. And she was just like, that's cool. I love you, girl. Love you. And they had a hug. Shelly, she did say it.
Because she kind of got annoyed about them kissing too. I'm like, where did you get annoyed about? You in a
Shelly is in her ace era. One is cake. You want to eat it too.
For sure. But she taking it to the extreme. I guess that's that Virgo in you.
Shelly is doing way too much right now.
And so I was telling my cousin this. I was like, first of all, Huda didn't have to tell Shelly that she kissed. She didn't tell nobody that she kissed Chris because she's coupled with Chris. So I don't have to tell you nothing that we do at all. I don't care. That doesn't. I don't think that's me personally. I don't think Huda was obligated to share with Shelly. Oh, by the way, I know you exploring Chris, but we can't. No, that's your couple. You don't have to explain what you do with the person you're in a couple with.
I agree, but it's also you're on a TV show, so whatever. Sorry. Whatever.
So I think they were doing a little much.
But Huda's little crash out on Olandria, it was. She should have got that.
She did. She was like, "That was it. You didn't have to do that." And Chris did. That was disrespectful. And she was like,
"That's my girl. Olandria is my girl. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna fight for her." But when she said, and another thing,
she said next time I say something, you keep it with.
I said, "Huda, you getting spicy?" But I don't know. You know the edit. But Olandria said, because Olandria's like, you know what, sis, you right.
And I hope, like you brought it up, and it'll come back up, I'm sure. But when she did have her back, I hope they have a conversation like, yeah, I was wrong. I shouldn't have put that kiss out there. I shouldn't have said that.
If they do, they're not gonna show that because they want the attention. But watch them be eating beans and toast together tomorrow and guacamole.
Avocado toast.
Yeah, that's what it is. I was on the right track.
You was on it.
I don't like guacamole or avocado toast. Bear with me.
Oh my God. And so after her question, we have Chris's. His was from Sierra about the whole Huda thing. And
Chris was
he was like
on the business.
He said, if I wanted to be playing overseas, I would be doing that, but I'm here. I'm here trying to find love, and we have a connection, and that's it. I'm going to leave it at that. And I appreciate he kept it short, simple, sweet, to the point.
Straight to it.
I want Huda. We got a connection. That's it. And then she also had a question from Shelly, which was also kind of pertaining to the whole Huda. Why are you like you don't even want this man? Because she said you switched up on me. All these promises you made, and I feel like you switched up. And he was like, "You the one that haven't been reciprocating on energy. So why would I keep putting some time and energy into somebody who's not doing the same for me?" So yes, I had this other connection with Huda. It's been great. I'm going to put my time and energy into that. And when Mary said they coming across like they looking for reasons to hate on Huda when they are not the saint themselves. But then it's like if you think it's wrong, why you also did X, Y? Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
1000%. And then we had Olandria. After that, hers was about Clark talking about you called me a test. I don't like that. You called me a test. I just feel like that for me
just
was
wanted
a little
to be on the show. Sit down.
Because why before that she was like, I just feel like I'm gonna have a whole bunch of cards. Girl, ain't nobody think about you.
Girl, nobody. Because why is you still on the show? You and Taylor can hop on a horse and go home.
My cousin called her nickname, and I can't repeat that nickname.
What is it?
What she called her. I was like, why did you call this woman that? She was like, she just old. I'm like, that ain't the nickname, but I'll tell you.
Now I got no nickname.
But I did them calling her Kiki Wyatt got me weak because I can't stop seeing Kiki Wyatt every time I see so that was the whole question. And she was like, something about that. She was like, congrats. A lady said, congrats. And that was like, oh, great. Y'all at the connection. Congrats. That's it. What else you want from me? But she also explained, she was like, you're not a test. I call everything that y'all do is a test. It's not you personal. It's just, it is what it is. Y'all are testing people's connections. That's what Casamore is. That's what it's meant to do. That's what the bombshells are meant to do. She explained it in the story. Then we got Taylor. His question. Come on, Huda. Asked him about his feelings switching up.
Huda was a real one for that too, though. Because I'm like, you're not going to keep playing at my girl face.
Exactly. And he was like, well, she just kind of gave me that kid feeling. And Alandra, this has got a lot of controversy. She was like, how old are you again? 25. Okay. And a lot of people were on her head about that because, people, they've learned about their inner child, right? They've been in therapy now. They understand what the inner child is. As a therapist, I understand. I believe fully you should always nurture the inner child. You should never lose that sprightly feeling. That's what that inner child means, like being able to have fun.
You're trying to find a wife,
right? Okay. So I
said you trying to find a wife.
Literally.
The way this is just going back into a different conversation because he said when Taylor and Clark had a conversation, he said, you make me feel like a child. And Olandria always made me feel serious, like I had to get my stuff together.
You don't want to have your stuff together?
I mean, and I can see a little bit above. Basically, I think he was saying is like when it's with Olandria, it's not like fun.
Yeah, or it's not his authentic self.
But it also could be Olandria is trying to get to know him to see if they can set up a life together. And he thought he was going to come to the villa and go swimming and do games and just have fun and chill. That's the vibe I kind of get.
And so with Alandria, like you said, you got to be serious. You got to feel like you got to be on your P's and Q's. Okay, is that necessarily a problem because you feel like you don't have your stuff together and she's trying to push you? Because a good woman gonna push you to be better. A good woman wants to see the best in you and to pull out your greatest potential. So is she really somebody that you need? Because Clark ain't gonna push, or a woman like Clark ain't gonna push you to be your best self. Like you can, yes, it's okay to be that.
I was offended, and when she started smiling, I said, I had to ask myself. I said, did he say? Did I do something different? Because I was offended a little bit. I was like, damn, okay. All right.
Because if he wanted to say, what he should have just said, I feel like I can be more of myself with Clark. That's it. I get the kid feeling that butterfly. He could have said that, people get butterflies.
I just worded it wrong, but
wording is so wrong.
I would have been offended, but I am also 36. So, you know what I'm saying? So maybe that's the difference. And I'm sure Clark, I don't know how old Clark is. Clark probably like 23 herself or something like that.
Is she that young?
I'm about to look it up.
And so it was just the controversy. Like I get it, inner child, nurture it, don't ever lose it. But making somebody feel like a kid, I don't want to feel like a kid again in that sense. Like the way he was making it seem like you want to be childish. That's what it sounds like. You want to be childish all the time.
Clark is 24.
That's how old Taylor, 25. So that's why
children.
And I tell people when I say I really don't want to date nobody that's under 25 and 25 is really pushing it, and I'm only 28. And I'm like, they're like, but it's so close. I'm like, but there is so much growth.
That's a gap.
So much happens between 25 and 28. Those 3 years, there's a difference.
That's true.
There's a big difference. And it doesn't seem like that in age.
You see the difference.
We see the difference. We see the difference right now. We see the difference. And so, was he wrong and hurt how Clark made him feel? No. But the way he egged it on, he kept pulling, and this is what Huda called him out for too. You keep talking about you gonna pull her for a chat, you ain't pulled her for nothing. And that's what she told, and she went off on him too. I can't even say half stuff she said because she cuts them smooth out from the North Coast to the South Coast, East and West. I put all my time you, and you ain't give me nothing.
She did. And listen, let me talk about this. So obviously to us as the viewers, because of course we're watching the edit, it does look like obvious, like Olandria, like, fam, are you seeing this? But the reaction from the villa, everybody was shook. Like, what? That tells me that the same thing Olandria was seeing was the same thing that most of the islanders were also seeing. And also the person that does the like he does the little what's it called, the voiceover or whatever throughout the episode, the
narrator, Ian.
I saw him in an interview and he said if I had to bet money on it, I knew Taylor and Olandria were going to be the ones to win at the end. When he picked, I was shook. And you gotta understand, of course he probably editing the episode, I mean voicing the episode, but I'm sure he works for Levant, so he's getting some kind of tea. So the fact is, the edit, they're not showing us, I think they're not showing us the moments where Taylor and Olandria were actually looking like, oh, they're cute. Oh, the sweet moments. They're only showing us the the nonchalant version of that coupling. So I want to see that edit because Taylor really played in her face.
That's what it feel like. He was trying to humble her.
Yeah.
Because her question, she had a good question too. I mean, it was one of the better questions there. Yes, she was just mad about it. And I'm like, you know what? I understand, baby. She has been balling on this stuff up all 3 weeks after all this stuff. And this is how I get done after 3 weeks of putting my time and energy. So I understand her unleashing her fury on him. She was like, so I just need to know why it was so necessary. You told me that, that you was able to be yourself with her. You could tell her all these things, but you wanted to protect her feelings. So when you came to me after that challenge, after you kissed me, she said, so I want you to know that, yeah, he told me that. Yeah, he didn't want to kiss me because he wanted.
And Corey be like, yeah, he told me. No, he did. Shut your ass up.
He didn't tell you nothing. And she was like, but I need to understand why you wanted to protect her feelings, but you didn't want, you didn't
but
care
it was F mine. So it's F yours. Boy, I said, tell him that. Boy, I got up on my chair.
And I mean, that's so right. It's like, dang, like you couldn't even afford her that much. So tell her that you wasn't feeling her.
Yep.
But you wanted to protect.
And all you have to do was open up his mouth. And see, the thing is there's not an issue with Taylor picking Clark. No issue at all. Do you, boo? The issue is that you strung this girl along when it was unnecessary. Like you didn't have to.
Yeah.
And like then, you see all these coupling and uncoupling, coupling next to you, you can do the same thing.
Release her, because she said I had a connection with Jalen that I could have did, and you said I did everything here to reassure you that you didn't have nothing to worry about, and this is what I get in return.
And on the cool, Jalen they probably would have clicked, but you can tell she went in not even as open to him because she was so set on Taylor. Like I don't even think Olandria gave her relationship with Jalen a real chance because she was, Taylor was still sitting on her shoulder. You know what I'm saying? So,
but it was so real.
I just want to be with Clark. Like we had a good, thing going on. I just have a relationship with her, so I'm just gonna focus on her. That would have worked. She would have backed off.
Going into Casa Amor, he could have been like, "Listen, I know we had 3 weeks. We built this. However, I'm kind of not feeling like we may be the best match. And so I want to explore fully in Casa, in this, well, I guess they didn't know about it, but before all that, he could have been like, whenever Casa More happens, because they know what's going to happen. He could have just been like, listen, whenever it happens, however it happens, I want you to also go ahead and explore to the fullest. And if we find our way back to each other after the fact, so be it.
Right.
Kind of like how Pepe was saying earlier in the episode, how like
he could have been right there like, no.
Exactly.
He could have opened up that mouth.
And just like Pepe was getting ready to tell Grayson before the challenge, and how he wanted to be honest with her and not drag her along, that's the same amount of respect and honor that Olandria deserves. Whether we believe on the outside that she should have seen it all and was just being delusional. Whatever the case is, she didn't or did, but was whatever, because we don't see everything.
Right.
He, as a man, he should have been honest about how he felt. You can have Clark all you want. Have her. We don't care.
Don't nobody want Clark. Ain't nobody. Ooh, take her. Matter of fact, hold on.
What are you gonna do?
This is where I need y'all to go. Home.
Home.
Together. I ain't gotta cry. Be happy. Be kid-like. Remember? Go home.
And then he thought he ate because he was like, "Y'all want me to choose? Somebody want me to choose? I pick Clark. How about that?"
Hold on. He ate a little bit. I said, "Oh."
But did he? Because you already chose her.
But exactly. That's where I was like, but you had already picked her, so
right.
And Clark, oh my gosh,
her, and that's, I don't have a problem with Clark, but her little smirks and smiles on the side,
so bitchy. It is. She's such a bitch. She is, but she. I feel like the room is open for her to be one. So
for sure.
But in that aspect, go home. Go home.
So that's kind of it. I mean, that was most of the episode. That was the juiciness. It was good. It was messy. It was needed for sure. Because why this show is ending very, very soon, like in 2 weeks. They meet in parents next week, and we got 2 strong-ish couples going into family visits. What is this? What is going
visiting
on?
In the family? Did they do that?
Yeah, that's what people talking about, family visits. Yeah.
I don't remember the family visit last year.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. No. Ma'am. Okay, Nick's mama. I can't remember your name because you done popped them up for your page quite a lot. I want you to slip up and call her Alandria.
Oh, messy boots.
Sierra. Excuse me, girl. Sierra.
Not. They were like, how you get Alandria from Sierra?
I don't know. It's a mistake.
Girl.
It's a mistake. The slow burn. Listen, I don't know. If they don't get together, I feel like they should be the bestest of friends, and then they should just kiss and stuff a lot.
I don't know, Len, maybe because I was just talking to my cousins, and they were mentioning that they've done family visits and stuff around this time, and I've seen people mention it on timeline too. So I'm like, I don't really know if they're doing it this season. I don't know how they work.
I watched it last season, but I do not remember family visits.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. Hold on. You can tell the people about the little voting thing. What's gonna happen while I'm looking this up?
What voting thing happening?
You don't remember the votes? So we were supposed to vote.
Voting for your favorite guy or girl?
Yes, and then the ones who got the lowest will be vulnerable.
Oh, so let me tell y'all what they're gonna do. I thought I had missed the vote. I did vote, and I voted for Nick on Electric. I did. The voting is closed now, but I don't know why they leave the voting open so short. But they only did like 2 hour window. But you voted for who your favorite Islander is, boy and or girl, and who's ever the lowest is going to be vulnerable. So we shall see.
But I don't think it's gonna be just one. It's 20 people in that villa. They gotta send like 8 people home, 8 to 10 people home.
Nowadays, the family visit was on the early seasons. Okay. Because I was just about to say, I do not think they did that last season.
Oh well, so they said. Well, I looked it up. It said the family visit on Love Island USA season 7. I would say it will likely be a part of the where they. Oh, I guess they didn't have it, but I guess they had it a part of Casa More. So if they had it,
I doubt it.
Okay. Oh well, X that point out because I was like,
but I do think if the family coming would influence how they react to as well. Because if I know I'm living up there, I'm gonna be like, hey, we about to get this check, grab my ass one time. Every time I walk by, I grab it. You know what I'm saying? Like right. I would be trying to get that check, so I feel like it would definitely be an influence. But
okay,
whatever.
But okay. Well, we gonna see. But like I said, I think Mary mentioned too. It needs to be 8 to 10 people going home tomorrow. But for sure, I would like to see Austin, Taylor, Clark. For sure, those 3 for sure need to go home tomorrow.
Austin, Taylor, Clark, and TJ.
Grayson, because Pepe don't want her, so she might as well go home.
Oh, she can go.
Pepe don't want
That's
her.
right.
So those 4 can go
Sorry,
home.
Grayson, girl, because I don't even know. I think that girl don't say 8 words on TV. It's gonna be all the Casa girls going home. Maybe Iris and Adrena. Yeah. You know what? I honestly think it depends on who they get to pick. Oh wait, it's voting. I wonder how many they're gonna send home.
I need them to
Actually,
take
you know
away
what I
the
think about? They're
power.
gonna send quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because they have to get back to their original
Number,
ooh.
huh?
Yeah. Iris and Adrena, they might end up going to the house.
Not going to that. But I don't think that the Islanders need to be choosing no more. They don't need to be having no more power because they don't vote right.
Just let us vote. And you
They
know
don't
what?
vote.
Next week, I want y'all. I want just for 2 days. Let America pick the couples.
Not the couples.
Yeah, just
This late in the game, Trees.
yeah.
The finale is
you know what
tomorrow.
we should do? There should be a vote where we pair the couples off so they go on dates.
Mm-hmm.
So we send Nick and Olandria on a date. I don't care who else on a date. Don't care about them. And then
they need to do more dates. Why
and
don't
we
they
only
do that?
show Nick and Olandria's date. That's it.
Why would they keep doing that? They need to not do more. They need to do more dates for the people that are in couples. I just feel like they'd be stuck at the house. Like
they do. It's just there's no like legit couples. Because last season they went on more dates, but everybody we're open. Once they close off, if I'm not mistaken, they do send them on a date, but it's literally only one couple that's closed off. So
boys gonna be Zach, Elan, Austin, TJ, Taylor. That's okay. Boop, bye.
And they can go home holding hands together, swinging.
And so the girls will be Clark, Grayson, Jaden, because I don't care about no Jaden, and Iris. Oh, Andrina. I don't want to see Andrina go home.
Sorry to the girl, but if a sacrifice has to be made, sorry. You fine though.
Well, if Shelly keep acting the way she acted, she can go. No,
Shelly gonna get sent home if she don't get her act right. Because you know what? Messy me, Shelly, we not gonna keep doing this. I would have picked Andrina. Come on, girl, you can stay with me. We can be friends.
Low key.
That's what he gonna end up doing. He gonna pick one of them random girls.
I'm telling you. Well, we're gonna see what tomorrow brings.
This finale is gonna be a mess. Oh, but speaking of a mess, not really a mess, but Big Brother is starting next week, and we will be in New York for the premiere event. So our schedule is gonna be kind of iffy because
it's gonna be ugly.
Maybe we record Monday. Maybe we do a Monday episode. Maybe
for Love Island.
Yeah.
Well, or we can do it Tuesday. I mean, I'll be in Texas on Tuesday with you. We just do it together.
Oh, we can do a joint one, like Boogie and Will. Okay.
Right after the episode.
Yeah. So Tuesday we're going live. We just decided right here, right now, because we'll be gone Wednesday. Okay, so next week, tune in around the same time, Tuesday.
And hopefully we'll have the cast by then too. So we could probably just do a quick little
maybe slide right on into the 2-pod story. We gonna see. But we know most of y'all Love Islanders are in the Big Brother community as well. So if you haven't already, turn on those notification bells, like and follow us. Eric is going to tell you where all of those locations are because I never remember even after 3 years. So go ahead.
Oh, Mary said 17 house guest Angela Tucker. Neither one. Please don't bring either one of them back, please. Or thank you.
Not this soon.
Don't want to see them again. But y'all know where to find us at Who All Gonna Be There podcast on YouTube. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to us. We appreciate it greatly. If you are not already subscribed, go over there to YouTube right now and subscribe. And then, of course, if you're listening and watching on Twitter, make sure you go ahead and follow us on Twitter at Who All There. And our Instagram is the exact same name. Subscribe, follow, and turn on those notifications. But also, please, if you're listening on Apple, Spotify, leave us 5-star review. And we appreciate that. But also, if you're watching here, make sure you leave us a comment, you like, and you share it to all your friends and family who watch this show and Big Brother, Survivor, and all those things. Until next week.
And happy day off of work.
Wonderful night.
That's coming.
You say happy what?
Happy day off of work Friday. That's as much as I'm gonna get.
We know what that means. Check your calendars.
Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all. Have a good night.